Hi, everyone. We're on Patreon. Find the link in the show notes. Show off your love for being curious with the official Info on the Go merch.
Whether you're sipping your coffee from our sleek mug, staying warm in one of our cozy hoodies, or rocking that fun fact inspired t shirt, or just carrying one of your essentials in our reusable tote bag, you'll be repping curiosity and style everywhere you go.
Each item is designed with our curious, on the go community in mind, and every purchase helps support the show. Wear it, sip it, carry it. Info on the Go is more than a podcast, it's a way of life.
Patreon, find the link in the show notes. Hi, I'm William,
And I'm Kat,
and that makes this Info on the Go.
answering questions you want to know.
Kat, what do we have here?
Let me guess, another tractor episode.
Well, yes, and well, yeah, I guess it is. But this was a listener request, and we try to please our listeners, right?
Absolutely. So let's plow ahead then, shall we?
Perfect. Tractor pulling, often called the world's heaviest motorsport, focuses on strength and distance rather than speed.
The objective is to determine the strongest machine and the most skilled driver by pulling a weighted sled along a track at least 300 feet wide and 320 feet long.
As the sled moves forward, its weight increases due to a mechanically winched box, eventually halting the vehicle's progress.
The competitor who pulls the sled the farthest distance, measured in thousandths of an inch, wins. If multiple participants achieve the full pull by reaching the end of the course, a pull-off determines the winner.
I have a question. Did you watch any videos in preparation for this or anything like that on YouTube?
I've been to a tractor pull.
Oh, you have? See,
Uh-huh.
I have never been to a tractor pull, and I've been watching videos, and I think it would be interesting to go and see. And to, I really, I want to go see it in live, like a live show now.
Yeah, no, I was in like the stands on the dirt track.
And
It
was
was,
it
I mean, it's definitely memorable. That's
okay?
for sure. It was, I remember it being really loud. I don't remember who won or anything like that, but I do remember having a good time. Kind of like
Okay.
going to a monster truck rally.
Yeah, no, I've been to those. Been to those. Taking the
Uh,
grandkids and the kids to those.
I have to take my kids to one of them. I
Yeah.
think Nova would really enjoy that.
Competition tractors may resemble standard farm equipment, but are highly modified to maximize horsepower and torque.
Classes are defined by weight and engine limitations, with engines ranging from drag racing and industrial types to jet turbines.
Jet turbines on a tractor.
That sounds wild.
That sounds very wild. No wonder they blow up when they're pulling the sleds down the track. This sport also includes two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and semi-truck categories, each with specific roles.
So the winner is the one who pulls the sled the farthest. If multiple competitors complete the track called a full pull, additional weight is added or a tie-breaking pull-off.
The sled, also known as a weight transfer sled, becomes harder to pull as weight shifts forward, increasing resistance. This creates a challenging competition that tests the power of the vehicles. And if you watch the tractor pulls, you'll see uh like someone sitting in a tractor that's on the sled itself as the weight moves forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but you to our listeners, if you've never been and you're curious, look it up. The videos are wild.
But they really are. Um, I mean, you can even probably find one in your area.
Yeah, I after doing some research, they're big here in they're not as big here in the South as they are in the West.
Yeah, I came from Nevada, so they had all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, like the Western states, like Nevada, oh man, Ohio, Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
in that Oklahoma and those regions or those states in that particular area, they're way bigger than they are here.
Right. Yeah, I'd never heard about one here. I hear about rodeos here.
Yeah, the rodeos are big, but there is a tractor pull here in South Georgia, and then there's one in South Florida.
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah.
Nice. The sport originated from horse pulling contests where farmers tested their draft horses' strength. The term horsepower comes from Scottish engineer James Watt in the late 18th century.
What created the term to compare the power of steam engines to the power of horses?
At the time, society relied heavily on horses for labor, and Watt needed a way to market his steam engines as a superior alternative.
To achieve this, he derived a method to measure the power of a horse and compared it to the performance of his engines.
His calculations were based on observation rather than rigorous scientific study.
What define what defined 1 horsepower as the amount of work required to lift 150 pounds a distance of 220 feet in 1 minute, adding an extra 50% to his calculations to account for friction.
His goal was to demonstrate that steam engines were more powerful and reliable than horses.
Over time, the term horsepower was expanded to describe the power output of other machines such as electric motors, turbines, and piston engines.
Motorized tractor pulling began in 1929 in Missouri and Kentucky and gained popularity in rural U.S. areas during the 1950s and 1960s.
It has since spread to countries like Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and more. Known as the world's most powerful motorsport, it showcases modified multi-engine tractors. Have you seen some of these tractors have up to 6 engines on them?
No, I haven't seen that. That sounds
Oh,
wild.
that is, I mean, these guys are very innovative in what they do, and I respect their sport and I respect their craft.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In 1969, the National Tractor Pullers Association, or NTPA, was formed to standardize rules. Early events featured stock farm tractors or modified versions with added engines.
Innovations like the Boss Brothers Crossbox for multiple engines revolutionized the sport. And I was getting to, we're going to get into some of those multi-engine uh, vehicles they have, or tractors, I guess.
Right, right. By the 1970s and 1980s, tractors became highly specialized, often resembling dragsters. Even some used turbine engines, and the number of engines reached up to seven.
So I was wrong, 7, not 6. Still, I mean,
I mean, that is pretty wild.
7 engines on one tractor. I mean, wow, that is crazy. I mean, these folks are, again, I respect the craft and the craftsmanship.
Right. Uh, Definitely. I mean, mm, that sounds insane to pull off.
Yeah. In 1976, a four-wheel drive division was introduced, quickly becoming popular. Engine sizes grew until the NTPA imposed a limit in 1989.
Today, truck and tractor pulling continues to captivate fans with divisions like four-wheel drive trucks and powerful custom-built tractors.
The National Tractor Pullers Association, the NTPA, established in 1969 by representatives from 8 different states: Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Created uniform rules to provide structure to truck and tractor pulling. And again, like I was saying, the 8 states that I named, it is tractor pulling is really big in those states. It's when you get out of that area, that region, that's where it's not as,
As popular
yeah, it's not as popular when it gets out of those states.
as the premier sanctioning body, the NTPA has set safety and competition standards followed by pulling organizations worldwide.
Managed by World Pulling International Incorporated, WPI, for over 30 years, the NTPA has operated from Worthington, Ohio, with a professional staff and numerous volunteers who ensure the success of events.
Milestones include adopting the SFI, roll cage in 1999, a safety measure credited with saving lives and later adopted by other organizations.
A roll cage is a series of interconnected bars that protect the occupants of a vehicle in the event of a crash, especially a rollover. And if you look up videos, you'll see that over the driver of the tractor or the truck, you'll see like these bars over them.
Hmm.
Basically, that's what we're talking about.
Right. Celebrating over 50 years, the NTPA continues to lead and innovate in the sport of pulling.
Truck and tractor pulling features various competitive classes, each with unique rules and specifications.
Hmm. Hmm.
Two-wheel drive truck class, introduced in 1983, has a weight limit of 2,800 kilograms or 6,200 pounds. Alcohol methane engines, max of 8 cylinders, are allowed. Diesel engines are prohibited in this sport. Engine size is limited to 9,420 centimeters or 570 cubic inches. Tire size restrictions ensure fair competition. Well, yeah, I mean, because the bigger the tires, or, I guess they could get more traction as they're pulling.
Hmm. Right, right. Superstock open class, methane fueled, capable over 4,400 kilowatts or 6,000 PS. Um, Diesel versions generate up to 3,700 kilowatts or 5,000 PS with up to four turbochargers. Pro stock class, diesel powered limited to one turbocharger, engine sizes up to 11,100 centimeters or 680 cubic inches, producing about 2,700 kilowatts or 3,700 PS.
Light and heavy super stock classes. Weights range from 2,800 kilograms or 6,200 pounds to 3,740 kilograms or 8,250 pounds.
Limited Pro Stock, smaller engines and turbochargers for a restricted competition format.
Many modified class lightweight tractors, 930 kilograms or 2,050 pounds, with natural aspirated engines or superchargers, producing up to 1,800 kilowatts or 2,500 PS.
Known for a high power to weight ratio and thrilling performance. Modified class, heavier tractors up to 3,600 kilograms or 8,000 pounds, using multiple engines with limits on power plants and outlawed substances like nitromethane since 1976.
So you can't be using that nitrous in there.
Right.
These classes showcase innovation and skill balancing power, weight, and competition rules. Antique tractor pulling, or at the time, just tractor pulling, rooted in early farm competitions, started in 1929 and grew as farmers tested their tractor strength by pulling drags. You know, again, I really respect the craft that and the innovation that these competitors and builders put into their machines.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember them being super loud, like way louder than tractors should be. And I do remember the pulling part of it. I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more my brain is picking up from the memories. Early events in Missouri and Ohio attracted spectators and inspired county fair competitions by 1950. Initially, human weighted drags were used, but safety concerns led to the development of a weight exchanging drag in the late 1960s, featuring a mass that moves forward to increase resistance.
So
Yeah,
just ex
I can imagine there was some safety issues.
Yeah, so human weighted drags, basically what would happen is these men, women, children would get on the back of these sleds and would eventually one by one get off. Or they would one by one get off as the weight went forward.
That sounds so sketchy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I talked to a guy that told me about how it worked back in the day. And he said, people were getting hurt during these, which you know, brought about the regulation of no human weighted drags,
Yeah, I can see
which
that.
I could too, especially when those tractors blow up or pop
Oof.
backwards or something from the
Oh.
sled breaks.
Mm.
Like, yeah. In tractor pulling, a mass that moves forward to increase resistance refers to the mechanism in the sled or drag that creates progressive difficulty as the sled is pulled down the track. So basically, as the sled is being pulled down the track, the weight will start at the back of the sled and progressively works its way forward, putting more weight on the back of the tractor, thus causing the tractor to have to pull harder.
Harder. Right. The sled is designed with wheels at the back and a flat metal pan at the front that drags along the ground. A heavy weight, often weighing tens of thousands of pounds, is mounted on a track or rail system on the sled.
As the sled moves forward, the weight gradually shifts from the back toward the front using gears or a similar mechanism powered by the sled's wheels.
This movement increases the pressure on the metal pan, which amplifies friction between the pan and the ground.
The increasing resistance makes it progressively harder for the tractor to pull the sled. This design ensures that pulling becomes more challenging as the sled progresses, thoroughly testing the tractor's power and the driver's skill.
The farther a tractor pulls the sled, the greater the resistance, ultimately determining the winner.
Tractors compete in weight classes from 2,500 to 14,000 pounds or 1,100 to 6,400 kilograms, with some adding weight to qualify for higher classes.
To compete, tractors must operate at their original speed, with some events using dynamometers to test horsepower. Tractors exceeding original horsepower are placed in a modified tractors class.
Key rules include specific tire pressure, drawbar dimensions, and fixed weights. Drivers must remain seated during pulling. Antique tractor pulling remains a celebration of agricultural heritage and mechanical skill.
Absolutely. Pull Town is the name of the National Tractor Pulling Championships, NTPC, a 3-day event held annually in Bowling Green, Ohio. It's the world's largest tractor pulling event.
And I would really love to go there.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. The National Tractor Pulling Championships, the NTPC, organized by the Northwestern Ohio Tractor Pullers Association, NWOTPA, have a rich history dating back to 1962 when the group was first chartered as the Wood County Tractor Pullers in Wood County, Ohio.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Hey. Initially consisting of 20 members, the organization hosted its first speed pull at the Wood County Fairgrounds that year.
In 1964, the name changed to NWOTPA as membership expanded to other counties. By 1967, the first national tractor pull was held in Bowling Green, Ohio, with three weight divisions.
Innovations like the motorized mechanical weight exchanger, Heartbreaker 1, emerged in the late 1960s, setting a new standard for tractor pulling competitions.
And that was a big innovation in tractor pulling because remember we talked about uh the human weights, and now we're talking about motorized mechanical weight exchanger instead of having to have pulleys and gears that were hand winched or whatever. Heartbreaker
Mm-hmm.
1 emerged, setting the standard.
Gotcha.
Throughout the 1970s and 80s, the sport evolved with the introduction of new weight classes, vehicle types, and divisions such as superstock, mini rods, and four-wheel drive trucks.
Notable advancements include Heartbreaker 2, which was developed in 1974 to handle more powerful machines.
Membership grew to 135 by the mid 1970s, and significant sponsors like Budweiser and Wrangler helped elevate the event's profile.
Today, the NTPC draws an estimated 65,000 attendees annually, features over 250,000 in prizes, and is managed by and is managed by 225 NWOTPA members.
Responsibilities include event logistics, sponsorships, safety compliance, and more. The NTPC remains a premier tractor pulling event with a focus on providing an exponential experience for participants and fans alike. And I think if I'm going to a tractor pulling event, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good first one to go to. That you're gonna travel all the way to Ohio, though.
Um, well, I've never been to Ohio.
Well, well,
I honestly think that would be the one to go to though if you were gonna have a first time experience and you got to go big or go home, right?
absolutely, absolutely, that's true.
And in
I
watching
mean,
the videos, yeah, I mean, it just seems like something that would interest me for sure.
I definitely think that it's right up your alley
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I know you're not big on tractors.
Well, I don't know. Tractor pulling is a little different than just tractors.
Okay. Well, I mean, John Deere is our number one episode.
True, true.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Here, I thought you was just crazy farmer man, and there are other crazy farmer people out there with you, and I support them.
There you go. Okay, that's all I've got on tractor pulling. I thought I found it fascinating. I never really knew anything about it until it was requested. And honestly and truly, never really gave it any thought until we started getting into the research and talking about it.
I would have never thought about tractor pulling, but it's funny that you had never heard of tractor pulling until recently too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just not something that I grew up around or grew up hearing about.
Right. It's just funny because you picked John Deere, but you had never heard of tractor pulling, so I thought that was kind of funny.
All
Cool.
right, that's all I got.
That's all I have as well. If you would like to support this podcast,
Click the support link in the show notes.
William and I want to thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Join the Facebook group at Info on the Go
Share with us your show ideas.
or ask us a question.
Subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Send us a text using the link in the show notes or leave a review.
Email us at,
infoonthegopodcast@gmail.com.
and yes, that is all one word. Till next time.
Stay curious.
Hey, this episode is brought to you by ChatDoc. It is an AI powered tool designed to help users interact with documents using natural language. It allows you to upload PDFs and other document formats.
You can chat with them to extract key information, summarize content, and analyze details efficiently. With ChatDoc, you can click on any word in the AI generated answer to jump to the cited sentence.
So, Kat and I love to use ChatDoc when we're writing our episodes because we're able to share information. But not only that, we're able to cite the information that we're actually putting in to make sure that it is valid information,
Right, exactly. Verify.
verified. So, check it out at ChatDoc.